Well, anyway, of course, the cabinet formation is prerogative of the Prime Minister. But as far as I know, my party, People's Justice Party, has put up about 10 names, which of course includes my name as the Vice President. And of course, as the party, I hope that the Prime Minister, Yang Mohamad Tun Dr. Mahathir, will announce the next lineup as soon as possible, because we are having the parliamentary sitting in 16th of July. So it is about more or less 1 month from now. And of course, when the new ministry or the new minister later on being announced by the Prime Minister, must also have or rather make a thorough study on his or her ministry. But again, as I said, as the biggest bloc in the Pakatan Harapan, because Keadilan now has 50 members of parliament. 50, yeah. Well, plus few announcements, from independents that has already joined us. So we hope that the proportionate representation will be seen in the next lineup of the cabinet. And I believe if you're talking about, say, the next 12, the next 13, so maybe Keadilan will have the maximum 6 or 7 ministries. So again, I would like to recap that it is the prerogative of the Prime Minister, and I hope and appeal to the Prime Minister to put a serious consideration on the list proposed by the party. And of course, the people also are waiting anxiously, who's going to in charge on specific ministries, and what are the amalgamation of ministries that are going to happen. If the Prime Minister can consider, I prefer to be the Foreign Ministry, Minister of Foreign Affairs, due to my international commitment, or rather international contribution. When I was in the opposition bloc, I was elected as the treasurer for Parliamentary Network for World Bank and IMF in Washington DC last year. And of course, I was actively involved in international organizations like Parliamentarians for Global Action.
International what?
Organizations. Okay. Like Parliamentarians for Global Action, PGA. Okay, where we fight policies like issues on, for instance, death penalty and all that. So very issue based as far as the organization is concerned. And of course, I also actively involved in the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. So even though during the opposition time it was very limited experience, but again I managed to being given the confidence, to represent my party, and of course to represent the opposition bloc in various international programs and summits. So that really attracts, my interest to pursue later on now in the government, to really focus on the foreign affairs issues and policies. Second preference, if I may say, of course, I come from the constituency of Hang Tuah Jaya from Malacca. So Malacca is known as a tourism industry. So should the Prime Minister has an idea to, want to maintain the Ministry of Tourism, so of course the second choice is to be the Minister of Tourism. And with this regard, I think I can empower the tourism industry as far as Malacca is concerned. And plus the other states like Sabah, of course Sabah also is very interesting state when it comes to tourism industry. And of course on the Terengganu and Kelantan side. So I think when it comes to this second preference, it is very much related to the place where I represent, and of course the interest in developing and exploring more on the tourism industry, so that it can contribute revenues to the current administration.